Okay, let's take a look and see what your final set might look like. There's a few little things that I can see on my sample here that I need to kind of pay attention to a little bit, but you should have a cover page. That's already been done. You should have site plans. Should come up in a moment. That should already be done. It should have your site plans, your notes, and your area and perimeter table. New is going to be a demolition and stormwater pollution prevention plan that should look something like this. I'll show you more details shortly. And you should have some demolition notes on the page. And utility plans, which show where your sewer, your cold water, and your cold water and your electrical lines are, with some notes on the page and some design features, which should show, some extra things that we haven't really shown, but you're just showing them as sort of like regions or crosshatched areas versus a real design. And of course, there are some notes. And finally, your detail page should have 2 details on it. That's enough to show that you can do details. And that's going to be your drawing set. Now let's go over some of these so that you can figure out what's going on. First of all, I'm going to zoom in on my cover page, and I notice that these are taking up 2 lines. So if I click on this, I should be able to move my sheets over a little bit. These over. Actually, I didn't need to move my sheets. I need to bring that one back. Sorry, VMware is a little bit slow today, as I know you've seen that in the past. There we go. And now I can bring this one back over to line it back up. Probably need to change these so that they are in the same format as these, so they're not all capitals, and showing the sheet numbers and the like. So that's the change that you might make there. Little bit of work to get these things to line up nicely. There we go. And it looks like that needs to come over just a little bit to line up. There. So take some time to get these to look really good on your sheet. Okay, your site plans should be done. There's nothing new. Let's look at the demo and stormwater pollution prevention plans. First of all, you should know that in the resource files, actually it's not in the resource files, it's probably in project documents. There is the project doc with various notes. So here it is right here, and I have added the notes for demolition plan, utility notes, and design feature notes. So you can go back to that. You've already used it once before, and that's where you'll get your general notes to put in. Let's look at the actual view itself, and I'll do this so that you can see. I'll do it here in the view. So this is my demo and stormwater pollution prevention plan. I made it as a copy of my existing with details. So I took my existing site plan, duplicate view with details, and then I renamed it demolition and stormwater pollution prevention plan. That way I kept a lot of these elevations that I wanted, and I kept some of these names and some of the details. Okay, so then I needed to look at demolition, and the only demolition that's going to happen is to remove the vegetation in the area where I'm going to be working. So I sort of fenced off that area, called it the construction zone. I can see that I've got to capitalize that. Okay, remember that. to make that region, if I want to make uh, a, a, a region that's crosshatched like that, I go to the region command. I pick my shape. Let's say I want to make a shape over here. To get the sizes right, just click on it and change it. Maybe I'll make it 25 foot by 25 foot. And then over here, pick what kind of hatching you want. Just for now, I'll make that solid black. And there we go. Then I got a solid black patch. So some things to get some of these to look kind of cool. You can use the arc command, start point, end point, and then kind of find the radius that you want, end point. There we go. That's kind of a cool shape. Now I have a black cool shape. So that's how you get these, and you just estimate that out. And then if you click on the edge of it, it tells you the area. It'll tell me the area here. So whoopsie, I gotta let me get onto that. There it is. 13,247 square feet was mine. So I know that I have, that's the area. And then I made them for many different things. Okay, I needed to take a look at my Caltrans Best Management Practices Manual, which is in the assignment guide. Some of you have seen this before. And you just look at these ones and you can go to the page to see it, but we're preserving existing vegetation where you could do mulching or textiles, but I decided to put up fiber rolls as one, storm drain inlet protection as another, preserve vegetation might be another, stabilize construction exit. So these are all ones that I chose and I put on here. Okay, so this is where construction will enter and exit the site so they don't get tons of stuff all over. We're going to existing call those out, but I'm going to put sediment control around the storm drain that happens to be in the street right here and storm drain sediment control right here. I'm going to put sediment control fiber rolls all around the construction area and preserve vegetation outside of this area. So if there's anything in here, I can kind of do it. So those are some of the things. And I want to put sediment control, which I spelled wrong there. Always good to go back and check your spelling around the storm drain, which is right there. And then I put in the approximate area of mine here. So that's sort of your demolition, not much, and all of your stormwater pollution prevention plan work. Okay, another one that you're going to be putting on here are your utility plans. Let's take a look at that. So I made these center lines. So my sewer line, that's my main one that's really of issue. It slopes and it has elevation. So I made it 12 foot here. That's very, very common. That means that at this pad, it would be about 6 foot. This line would probably be, I think, at 4 foot, minus 4 foot, minus 12 foot, minus, that's underground. Okay, and these are all at an elevation of 5 feet. So there's a lot of sloping going on, and you just note where it's going to go. And then I'm noting that this electrical trench comes over to here, and then the electrical conduit for the rest of it, which looks like I have to move this a little bit to get it onto here. It's going to be in the same trench as the sewer. So it's just at minus 2 feet. So they're going to put the sewer line in, put mag tape on it so that you know what it is. Then they'll put the electrical conduit in down below it at a constant elevation of minus 2 feet. And then the water line goes in. Oh, sorry, the electrical is here at minus 1 foot. And the water then is at minus 2 feet. And that's actually quite a bit below the ground because this elevation here is 6 feet and this elevation is like 4 feet. So that's quite a ways below the ground. So that's not 2 feet under the ground. That's our elevation of 0. And remember that a lot of this is above the ground. So that's quite deep. Quite deep. This elevation is like 4, I think. Okay. I also changed my scale. And so if you look at this, I kind of brought these in to zoom in on this. That's your crop region. So I brought the crop region in and I changed it to 1 inch equals 20 feet. And that fits nicely on the page. And so then it's just drawing lines. Now the one other thing to do is under manage, I wanted to change line weights. So here we go. And under line types, line styles, I chose to use different lines for different things. And I chose the center line style for my sewer, and I wanted it to be a little bit more bold. So I made the line weight 10 to show up even more. And that's just something that you may wish to do. Okay, so those are your utility lines. And then the last one are your design features. And these again, these are these regions where you go to annotation and just create a region and use different hatching and different things. So I did some things that I found from my self-review were sort of missing a little bit. So on-street parking was missing. I thought that this might need a privacy screen so that these people don't see as much. I put an access pathway with a 4-foot lattice fence on the west side of it. I put a solar shade with bicycle parking down below. Waste recycle organics collection area right here. I made an additional swale. And so that's sort of what I did right here. And these are just like noting. This is where I'm going to do it. I don't have to have a fancy design. I'm just noting. And I use different shapes and different hatches just to make it look a little different. Okay. And then so if we look at those, then I also made a whole bunch of new drafting views for the notes. Let me just, as an example, take a look at the design feature notes. There we go. And so you can use these. I talk about who's paying for it, a little bit about the solar shade, the on-street parking, using the DESGN permit that allows anyone can park there between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. But after that, those 3 spaces, which are called out, are reserved for the people that live there. That's very common in Davis, in like near schools and things like that. Um, how the solar shades are going to be hooked up and who's responsible for them, the access path would require an HOA because there's stuff that is kind of common to everybody in the stormwater pollution prevention plan. So this one I made in a big wide one, and then you can, if you want, even make that a little bit smaller so it fits. Whoops, I didn't do that very well. I made that 30 feet. I'll get that fixed up. 3 inches. There we go. And that way that looks a little bit smaller as you go and you see it on the sheet. Okay, and then just add them, just create new sheets and add those. When you're done, You know how to do this. File, export as a PDF, selected views and sheets, select your sheets and export those high raster quality, fit to page. You know, I don't know what size, use sheet size, so that's good. I use that C size sheet. Do add colors in case they're there. All right, so that is how to do your Revit, finish your complete set. And of course, this is a good set for a land planning original first submittal. Then you'll do a lot of work with the Planning Commission to provide additional sheets and additional documents and additional pieces of information to help them know that this can be an approved project that can go to the City Council for vote and to all the other stakeholders too. So there we go. That's your main thing for the Revit Complete set.